Captain Jake Morrison sat in the command chair of the USS Defiance as the ship moved slowly through space near Jupiter. The patrol mission was routine and boring. His crew of 340 people had been doing the same exercises for weeks. The stars looked the same as always. Nothing ever happened out here in the empty space between planets. Lieutenant Commander Amy Johnson looked up from her science station. Her face was pale and worried. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange on the long-range sensors." She pressed buttons on her control panel and frowned. "It looks like a large group of ships coming toward us from outside the solar system." Morrison stood up and walked over to her station. "How many ships are we talking about?" 47 vessels. "Sir, they're big ones too, much larger than anything we have." Amy's voice shook a little as she spoke. "Captain, these ships don't match any design in our databases. I think they might be alien." The bridge became very quiet. Everyone stopped what they were doing and looked at Morrison. In all the years humans had been traveling through space, they had never met another intelligent species. Most people thought Earth was alone in the universe. Morrison felt his heart beating faster but kept his voice calm. "Red alert. All hands to battle stations. Amy, how long until they reach us?" "About 30 minutes at their current speed, sir." "Open a channel to Earth Command. Tell them what we've found." Morrison walked back to his command chair. His mind was racing. One human ship against 47 alien vessels. The odds were not good. Communications Officer Danny Clark worked at his station. "Sir, I'm trying to reach Earth, but something is blocking our signals. The alien ships must be jamming our communications." "Keep trying." Morrison looked around, the bridge at his crew. These were good people who trusted him to keep them safe. "Ben, what's our weapon status?" Tactical Officer Ben Rodriguez checked his screens. "All plasma cannons are ready, sir. Railguns are charged and loaded." "But Captain, if these ships are hostile, we don't stand much of a chance." Morrison nodded. He knew Ben was right. The Defiance was a good ship, but it was built for patrol duties, not major battles. Still, they had to try. "Captain, the alien fleet is slowing down," Amy reported. "They're taking up positions around us. It looks like they want to talk." "Put them on screen if they make contact." Danny's station beeped. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the lead alien ship. They're trying to speak English, but it sounds strange." "Let's hear it." The bridge speakers crackled to life. A deep, harsh voice spoke in broken English. "Human vessel, this is Fleet Commander Vex Thule of the Zephyrian Armada. Your species is now under our control. You will surrender your ship and submit to Zephyrian rule. Resistance is useless. You are greatly outnumbered." Morrison felt anger rise in his chest. These aliens had come to human space and demanded surrender without any warning. They thought humans would just give up without a fight. "Danny, open a channel back to them." "Channel open, sir." Morrison stood up straight and spoke in a clear, strong voice. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earth Navy. You have entered human space without permission. You have exactly 10 minutes to turn around and leave, or we will consider this an act of war." There was silence for a moment. Then the alien voice came back, and Morrison could hear what sounded like laughter. "One small human ship against the mighty Zephyrian fleet? Your bravery is foolish. We have conquered many worlds. Your people will learn to serve us or they will die." The transmission ended. Morrison looked around the bridge. His crew was scared but ready to fight. Chief Engineer Lisa Parker had been listening from her station. "Captain, I need to tell you something important," Lisa said. "This ship has special systems that most of the crew doesn't know about. Secret weapons that Earth Command installed for testing." Morrison raised his eyebrows. "What kind of weapons?" "The plasma cannons aren't normal cannons, sir. They use Starforge technology that can cut through almost anything. The railguns can fire projectiles at nearly the speed of light. And we have other systems too, things that bend the laws of physics. Why wasn't I told about this before?" "Orders from Earth Command, sir. The weapons were only to be used in extreme situations." "I think this counts as extreme." Morrison thought quickly. If his ship really had advanced weapons, maybe they had a chance after all. "Lisa, activate all special systems. Amy, what are the aliens doing?" "They're moving closer, Captain. It looks like they're preparing to attack. Ben, target the lead. Ships with everything we have. Lisa, I need those special weapons online now. Lisa's fingers moved over her controls. Captain, I'm activating Protocol 7. This will change our ship into something very different. The crew needs to hold on. Tight. The Defiance began to vibrate as new power flowed through its systems. Lights that had never been on before started glowing. The ship felt different, more alive and dangerous. Weapons are ready, sir, Ben reported. These readings are incredible. I've never seen power levels like this. Morrison sat back in his command chair. The aliens thought they were facing a weak human ship. They were about to learn that humans were much more dangerous than they looked. All hands prepare for battle. This is our home system and we will defend it. Fire when ready. The USS Defiance, no longer just a patrol ship but now a deadly weapon of war, prepared to show the Zephyrian Armada what humans could do when they were threatened. The aliens wanted to conquer Earth, but they had no idea what they were really up against. In the empty space near Jupiter, one human warship faced 47 alien vessels. The battle that would change everything was about to begin. The first alien ships moved toward the Defiance like hunters closing in on prey. Commander Vexthul watched from his flagship as his advanced scouts spread out in attack formation. He had done this many times before. Small defending forces always broke and ran when they saw the size of his fleet, but the human ship was not running. It was turning to face his vessels head-on. Foolish creatures, Vexthul said to his bridge crew. They choose death over surrender. Very well. Destroy them, quickly so we can move on to their planet. On the Defiance, Captain Morrison felt the ship change as Lisa Parker brought the special systems online. The bridge lights dimmed, and then blazed brighter than before. New control panels appeared from hidden compartments in the walls. Captain, the power core has been converted to quantum fusion, Lisa reported. We now have 10 times more energy than before. The weapons are charging to levels I didn't think were possible. Ben Rodriguez stared at his tactical display in amazement. Sir, these weapon readings are off the charts. The plasma cannons are showing temperatures hot enough to melt through a moon. The railguns can fire projectiles at 98% of light speed. Amy, what are those alien ships made of? Morrison asked. Amy scanned the approaching vessels. Their hulls appear to be some kind of advanced metal alloy. They have energy shields that look very strong. But Captain, according to these readings, our new weapons should cut right through them. The first 3 Zephyrian scout ships came within firing range. Their captains were confident and relaxed. They had destroyed hundreds of ships just like this one. The human vessel looked small and helpless. Fire, Morrison said quietly. Ben pressed the firing controls. The Defiance unleashed its first volley with the new weapons. 3 beams of superheated plasma shot out from the ship. They were not the normal orange color of regular plasma weapons. These beams were pure white, like pieces of a star. The alien scouts never had time to react. The plasma beams hit their energy shields and passed right through them like they were made of paper. The beams struck the hulls of the 3 ships and melted through the metal instantly. The alien vessels exploded in brilliant flashes of light. On the Zephyrian flagship, Commander Vexthul jumped up from his command chair. What just happened? How did one ship destroy 3 of my scouts so easily? His tactical officer was checking the readings with confused eyes. Commander, the human weapons are using technology we don't understand. The energy signatures don't match anything in our databases. Impossible. These humans barely know how to travel between stars. They cannot have weapons more advanced than ours. But the evidence was right in front of them. 3 Zephyrian ships were gone and the human vessel was moving toward the next group of alien ships. Morrison watched his enemies on the main screen. They didn't expect that. Ben, target their next formation. Amy, how fast can we move with these new systems? Captain, our engines have been upgraded too. We can now move 3 times faster than before and make turns that should be impossible. Show me. Amy activated the new flight systems. The Defiance suddenly shot forward like an arrow. It curved around the alien formation so quickly that the Zephyrian gunners couldn't track it. The human ship moved like a fighter instead of a heavy warship. Lisa called out from her station. Captain, I'm also reading something called a gravity pulse cannon. It can create small black holes that suck enemy ships apart. Activate it. The Defiance fired its gravity weapon at a group of 5 alien ships. A dark sphere appeared in space between the vessels. The Zephyrian ships were pulled toward the artificial black hole. Their hulls cracked and twisted as the gravity tore them apart. In seconds, 5 more enemy ships were destroyed. Commander Vexthal watched in horror as his fleet was being destroyed by a single human vessel. All ships concentrate fire on that ship. Use everything we have. Dozens of alien weapons fired at the Defiance. Energy beams and missiles flew through space, toward the human ship. But when they hit, something strange happened. The weapons seemed to bounce off or disappear completely. Captain, our hull armor is adapting to their attacks, Lisa explained. Each time they hit us, the armor learns how to defend against that weapon. They can't hurt us anymore. Ben launched a spread of quantum torpedoes at another group of alien ships. These missiles could phase in and out of normal space, passing through the enemy shields before exploding inside their hulls. 6. More Zephyrian vessels were destroyed instantly. The alien fleet was now down to 31 ships from the original 47. Their weapons couldn't damage the human ship, and their own vessels were being destroyed with each attack. Commander Vexthal was beginning to feel something he had never felt before in battle. Fear. Retreat to long range. We need to study this human ship and find its weaknesses. But when his ships tried to pull back, they found the human vessel had moved to block their escape routes. Captain Morrison had predicted exactly where they would try to go. Danny, are you picking up their communications? Morrison asked. Yes, sir. They're calling for help and trying to understand how our weapons work. They sound scared. Morrison looked at the alien fleet on his screen. They had come to conquer humanity and now they were running away. But this battle was far from over. There were still many enemy ships left, and he didn't know what other weapons they might have. All stations, prepare for the next attack. They're going to try something different now. The Defiance moved through space like a predator hunting its prey. The aliens had started this fight thinking humans were weak. Now they were learning the truth about Earth's real military power. Commander Vexthal stared at his tactical display with growing panic. Half of his mighty fleet was gone, destroyed by a single human ship that should have been easy prey. His remaining captains were sending him desperate messages asking for new orders. Commander, we must retreat, his second-in-command urged. This human vessel has weapons we cannot fight against. No, Vexthal growled. We cannot return to our people with news of defeat. There must be a way to destroy this ship. He turned to his weapons officer. Use the planet killer missiles. Even if their armor is strong, nothing can survive a direct hit from our most powerful weapons. On the Defiance, Captain Morrison watched as the alien ships changed formation again. This time they were moving much more carefully, keeping their distance while preparing something new. Captain, I'm detecting massive energy buildups on several alien ships, Amy Johnson reported. They're charging weapons that are much bigger than what they used before. How big are we talking about? Big enough to destroy a small moon, sir. Whatever they're planning to fire at us, it's going to be their strongest attack yet. Morrison nodded grimly. Lisa, do we have any defenses against planet killer weapons? Chief Engineer Lisa Parker checked her new systems. Yes, sir. We have something called a quantum phase drive. It can make our ship briefly disappear from normal space. The weapons will pass right through us. Good. Ben, while we're avoiding their big weapons, I want you to target their command ship. It's time to cut off the head of this snake. The alien fleet fired 12 massive missiles at the Defiance. Each one was the size of a small building and carried enough explosive power to crack a planet. They streaked through space toward the human ship. At the last second, Lisa activated the quantum phase drive. The Defiance became transparent and ghostly. The planet killer missiles passed harmlessly through the ship as if it wasn't there. They exploded in empty space far behind the human vessel. Commander Vexthal watched in disbelief as his most powerful weapons had no effect. Impossible. Those missiles can destroy anything. Not anything, apparently, his tactical officer said, quietly. The Defiance reappeared in normal space directly behind the alien command ship. Ben Rodriguez fired the gravity pulse cannon at point-blank range. The artificial black hole tore through the flagship's shields and began pulling the massive vessel apart. Vexthul felt his ship shaking as the gravity weapon destroyed huge sections of the hull. Emergency power to engines. Get us away from that gravity field. His ship managed to escape, but it was badly damaged. 3 more Zephyrian vessels that had been nearby were completely destroyed by the same gravity pulse. Captain, I'm picking up something interesting from the alien communications, Danny Clark reported. Dr. Ross, our language expert, has been working on translating their signals. Dr. Helen Ross looked up from her station where she had been studying the alien transmissions. Captain, these beings aren't natural conquerors. From what I can understand, they're refugees. They keep talking about something called the Devourers that destroyed their homeworld. Morrison raised his eyebrows. Refugees? But they attacked us. Yes, sir. But I think they attacked because they're desperate. They need a new place to live, and they thought Earth would be easy to take. They didn't know how strong we really are. The battle continued as more alien ships fell to the Defiance's advanced weapons. Captain Morrison's crew worked like a perfect team. Navigator Tony Martinez plotted impossible course changes that kept them ahead of enemy fire. Weapons Officer Kate Murphy discovered new weapon systems that appeared on her console as the ship's computer unlocked more hidden capabilities. The Defiance could now fire weapons that created tears in space itself. It could launch missiles that traveled through other dimensions to hit their targets. It could even use its engines to create shockwaves that disabled enemy ships without destroying them. Commander Vexthul watched his fleet shrink from 31 ships to 24, then to 18. His captains were no longer asking for orders. They were asking for permission to surrender. Commander, we must face the truth, his second-in-command said. This human ship is more advanced than anything we have ever encountered. Our weapons cannot hurt it, and our shields cannot stop its attacks. If we continue fighting, we will all die. Vexthul looked around his damaged bridge. Emergency lights flashed red and smoke filled the air. Half of his control stations were offline. His proud flagship was barely able to stay in the fight. For the first time in his military career, the Zephyrian commander began to consider the unthinkable. Surrender. His people had never surrendered to anyone. They were warriors who fought to the death rather than accept defeat. But this was different. The humans had shown them technology that seemed like magic, weapons that could bend space and time, defenses that made their ship untouchable. Fighting them was not brave, it was suicide. Sir, the human ship is moving toward us again, his tactical officer reported with fear in his voice. On the Defiance, Morrison looked at the damaged alien fleet. Many of their ships were barely functioning. Some were drifting in space with their engines dead. Captain, should we finish them off? Ben asked. Morrison paused. These aliens had attacked his home system and threatened Earth. By all military rules, he should destroy them completely, but Dr. Ross's discovery that they were refugees made him think twice. Hail the alien command ship, he ordered. The face of Commander Vexthul appeared on the main screen. The alien looked like a cross between a lizard and a human, with green, scaled skin and large yellow eyes. His expression showed defeat and desperation. Human captain, Vexthul said in his broken English, your ship has proven its power. What do you want from us? Commander Vexthul stood on his broken bridge, staring at the human captain on his view screen. Around him, his ship was falling apart. Sparks flew from damaged control panels, and the air smelled of burning metal. His mighty fleet, once 47 strong vessels, was now reduced to 18 damaged ships. The human ship hung in space like a predator, its weapons still glowing with deadly energy. Vexthul had fought in hundreds of battles across the galaxy, but he had never faced anything like this single Earth vessel. Captain Morrison looked back at the alien commander through the screen. He could see fear in those yellow eyes, something that probably had never been there before. You attacked my home system without warning, Morrison said. You demanded our surrender and threatened to destroy us. Why should I show you any mercy? Vexthul's hands shook as he gripped his command chair. Everything he had believed about warfare was wrong. His people were the strongest fighters in their part of the galaxy. They had conquered dozens of worlds. But this one human ship had destroyed half his fleet without taking any damage. Human captain, Vexthul began, his voice barely above a whisper. We made a terrible mistake. We thought your people were weak. Our information said you had primitive weapons and simple technology. Your information was wrong, Morrison replied coldly. Yes, very wrong. Vexthul looked around his ruined bridge at his surviving crew members. Many of them were injured. All of them looked defeated. We did not come here to be conquerors by choice. We are refugees fleeing from something much worse than war. Dr. Helen Ross had been listening to the conversation while monitoring alien communications from other ships in the fleet. She stepped closer to Morrison and spoke quietly. Captain, I'm detecting transmissions from civilian areas on many of those ships. There are families aboard those vessels. Children. Morrison felt his anger cool slightly. Explain yourself, alien. What are you running from? Vexthul closed his large yellow eyes for a moment. When he opened them again, there was deep sadness. There. Our home world of Zephyr Prime was consumed by machines. Ancient artificial beings that call themselves the Devourers. They turn entire planets into factories that build more of their kind. And you thought you could take Earth as a replacement? Morrison asked. We have been traveling through space for many years, searching for a new home. Most worlds, we find, are already occupied by species too strong to fight. Others are too hostile to support life. When we detected your planet, our scouts said humans were a young species with limited technology. On the bridge of the Defiance, the crew listened to this story with mixed feelings. Lieutenant Commander Amy Johnson had been scanning the alien ships and confirmed that many contained civilian populations. Captain, Amy said quietly, I'm reading approximately 50,000 life forms across their remaining fleet. About half appear to be non-military. Vexthul continued speaking, his voice growing more desperate. We are not evil beings, human captain. We are parents and children, scientists and farmers trying to find a place where we can survive. But we are also warriors. And when we saw what we thought was a weak species, we believed we could take what we needed. By force, Morrison said. Yes. By force. It is the way of our people when we have no other choice. Vexthul's voice broke slightly. But your ship has shown us that humans are not weak. Your weapons are beyond our understanding. Your technology makes us look like children playing with toys. Morrison looked around his own bridge. His crew was watching him, waiting for his decision. They had won the battle completely. The alien fleet was helpless. He could destroy them all and remove any threat to Earth. But these were not just soldiers. They were refugees with families running from some terrible enemy that had destroyed their world. Ben, Morrison said to his weapons officer, if we wanted to destroy the rest of their fleet, how long would it take? About 10 minutes, sir, maybe less. Vexthul heard this exchange and realized that his people's lives hung by a thread. The human captain could end them all with a simple order. The Zephyrian commander made a decision that went against everything his warrior culture had taught him. He fell to his knees on his bridge, in full view of the human ship. His surviving officers stared in shock as their proud commander lowered, his head in complete submission. Human captain, Vexthul said, his voice shaking with emotion. I beg you for the lives of my people. We surrender completely. We offer no resistance. Our weapons are powered down. Our shields are lowered. We are at your mercy. The alien commander raised his head to look directly into the view screen. Please, I know we attacked you first. I know we deserve death for threatening your world. But the children on these ships have done nothing wrong. The families have committed no crimes. If you must kill someone, kill only me. Let them live. Morrison had never seen anything like this. An alien military commander begging for mercy, offering his own life to save his people. Around the bridge of the Defiance, crew members looked uncomfortable. This was not the evil enemy they had been fighting. Captain, Dr. Ross said softly, their communications are full of surrender signals now. Every ship in their fleet is broadcasting the same message over and over. They're begging us not to destroy them. Danny Clark looked up from his station. Sir, some of their ships are sending us star charts and technical data. I think they're offering us everything they have in exchange for their lives. Morrison stared at the alien commander who was still kneeling on his bridge. This proud warrior species, these feared conquerors, had been reduced to begging a single human ship for mercy. The captain of the USS Defiance faced a choice that would change the course of history. He could destroy the alien fleet and eliminate any threat to humanity. Or he could show mercy to refugees who had made a terrible mistake. Either decision would echo through the galaxy for years to come. Captain Morrison stood silent on the bridge of the Defiance, looking at the alien commander who knelt on his damaged ship. Around him, his crew waited for orders that would decide the fate of 50,000 alien refugees. The easy choice was to destroy them all. They had attacked Earth and threatened humanity's homeworld. Military protocol demanded their destruction, but Morrison had not become a starship captain by making only easy choices. Dr. Ross, he said quietly, can you establish better communications with their fleet? I want to know more about these devourers they mentioned. Dr. Helen Ross worked at her station, adjusting translation protocols. Captain, I'm getting clearer signals now. The aliens are sharing their historical records with us. It looks like the machines that destroyed their world are moving through this part of the galaxy, consuming planets and building more of themselves. How far away are these machines? According to their data, about 50 years at current speed. But Captain, the aliens say the devourers learn and adapt. If they detect advanced civilizations, they move faster to eliminate threats. Lieutenant, Commander Amy Johnson looked up from her science station with concern. Sir, if that's true, then Earth could be in danger. These machines might see our technology as a threat and target us next. Morrison thought about this new information. The aliens weren't just random invaders. They were running from an enemy that might eventually threaten Earth as well. Commander Vex Thule, Morrison said to the alien leader, stand up. I want to hear more about these machines. The Zephyrian commander slowly rose to his feet, his yellow eyes still showing fear and hope. The devourers arrived at our world without warning. We had the strongest military in our region of space, but our weapons were useless against them. They turned our cities into factories and our people into fuel for their machines. How many of your people escaped? Less than 1% of our population, maybe 2 million beings scattered across dozens of refugee fleets like ours. Vex Thule's voice was filled with sadness. Most of the other fleets have been destroyed or captured. We are among the last survivors of our species. Chief Medical Officer Sandra Clark had been listening to the conversation while treating wounded crew members. Captain, I've been monitoring the medical data from their ships. Many of their people are sick and malnourished. They've been traveling in space for years without a proper home. Morrison made his decision. Ben, power down our weapons but keep them ready. Amy, scan the solar system for suitable locations where refugees could establish a temporary settlement. His crew looked surprised but followed orders without question. Weapons Officer Kate Murphy secured the experimental weapon systems while Navigator Tony Martinez began searching for uninhabited planets or moons. Commander Vex Thule, Morrison said, I'm prepared to offer your people sanctuary, but there will be conditions. The alien commander's eyes widened with disbelief. You would help us after we attacked you? You're refugees running from an enemy that might threaten Earth someday. It makes sense for us to work together. Morrison paused. But I need guarantees. Your weapons must be surrendered. Your military forces will be monitored. And you will share everything you know about these devourers. Vex Thule nodded eagerly. Yes, human captain. Anything you ask. We will give you all our star charts, our technology, our knowledge of the galaxy. We know the locations of other civilizations, trade routes, dangerous regions to avoid. Dr. Ross had been analyzing the alien data transmissions. Captain, their information could advance human space exploration by decades. They know about threats and opportunities we never imagined. Tony, what did you find for settlement locations? Navigator Tony Martinez checked his readings. Sir, there's a star system about 20 light years from Earth with several habitable planets. No intelligent life detected. It would be perfect for a refugee colony. Morrison opened a channel to the entire alien fleet. This is Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earth Navy. Your commander has agreed to peaceful surrender and cooperation. Any ship that wishes sanctuary will be escorted to a safe system where you can rebuild your civilization. Any ship that refuses these terms will be destroyed. Across the Zephyrian fleet, the response was immediate. Every single ship broadcast acceptance of the human terms. Their weapons powered down completely and they transmitted detailed surrenders. Captain, Danny Clark reported, they're also sending us something else. Warning signals about other threats in the galaxy. Pirates, hostile empires, dangerous phenomena. This information could save human lives. Commander Vexthul spoke again, his voice now filled with gratitude instead of fear. Human Captain, your mercy today will be remembered forever by my people. We came here as invaders and you are treating us as guests. This is not how warfare usually works in the galaxy. Morrison smiled slightly. Maybe it's time the galaxy learned a new way of doing things. Over the next several hours, the Defiance escorted the alien refugee fleet toward their new home. During the journey, human and Zephyrian scientists shared information. The aliens provided star maps and technological data, while humans shared some of their own knowledge in return. Chief Engineer Lisa Parker worked with alien engineers to understand their faster-than-light travel methods. The refugees had been traveling for years and knew ways to move through space that humans had never considered. Captain, Vexthul said during one of their conversations, there is something else you should know. Word of this encounter will spread throughout the galaxy. Other species will learn that humans showed mercy to their enemies and turned invaders into allies. Is that good or bad? Both, perhaps. Some will see humans as weak and try to take advantage. Others will see you as potential allies worth befriending. But all will know that Earth possesses weapons beyond their understanding. As they reached the new star system, Morrison watched the alien ships begin to establish their colony on a green world orbiting a yellow sun. Children played in temporary shelters, while adults began building permanent homes. The USS Defiance prepared to return to Earth with news that would change everything. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe. They had gained their first alien allies and learned about threats that awaited in the depths of space. Commander Vexthul sent a final message to Morrison as the human ship departed. Captain, my people will remember what you did today. When the Devourers come, and they will come, the Zephyrians will stand with humanity. Together we might be strong enough to stop them. Captain Morrison looked out at the stars, knowing that everything had changed. Earth was now part of a larger galactic community. With all the opportunities and dangers that brought, the alien fleet had come seeking to conquer humanity, and instead found salvation. The story of the day when aliens begged a human warship for mercy would spread across the galaxy, carrying news of a species that was both powerful and compassionate. Humanity had announced its presence among the stars not as conquerors, but as protectors who would defend the innocent and help those in need. The age of human expansion into the galaxy had begun.